Welcome to The Bad Broadcast. I'm your host, Maddie. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a new episode of The Bad Broadcast. My name is Maddie. I'm your host. Thanks for being here on this fine December morning or afternoon or evening. I don't know. I wonder, you know what? I think about you guys a lot. Like, I spend a lot of time just imagining where you guys are. I would assume most of you guys are in the car. I bet there's a handful of you guys at the gym. I bet some of you are nursing in the middle of the night. And I don't know what else you guys, maybe some of you are crafting. Maybe some of you guys are wrapping presents. I don't know, but I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season thus far. I recorded these a little out of order. So like today when I'm recording, today's the finale of Dancing with the Stars. I'm going to talk about Dancing with the Stars, by the way. So if you don't want spoilers, I don't know. I think we're probably a few weeks past it now, but just if you don't, somebody messaged me and they said, I watched Dancing with the Stars with my daughter, but she is a competitive dancer. And so we have to wait. And can you just do a little warning for when you're going to talk about Dancing with the Stars? And I said, absolutely. So that's what I'm going to talk about now. Anyway, the episode just came out about Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, where I say on there, like, I'm going to be so pissed if Whitney gets voted off because of this. And as you guys know, she did get voted off. She did not make it to the finale. And you know, I think it's going to be one of those things that actually benefits her in the long run. As we all know, she's in New York doing some sort of audition, not sure what. People think it's Chicago, some sort of Broadway play, which I can only hope that she's doing something spectacular after this. I just think, okay, here's something. So there's this concept of expanders, right? And Ash taught me about this, and it's somebody who like you see their life and it's not a jealousy. It's like a motivation. Like you see them and you're like, they expand kind of what I feel like I can be. And you look up to them, you want to emulate them. I like have always resisted this feeling because I don't really feel jealous a lot. And I also don't like feeling jealous. Like I feel like I spent a lot of years building up a tolerance against jealousy because I just think it's a gross feeling to feel and I don't like feeling jealous of people. And so I did a lot of work to just not feel that way. And it worked. Like I very, very rarely, if ever, feel jealous of people. And that has stopped me from, sorry, this is such a random tangent, but I just want to gush about Whitney for a minute. But so I've resisted this idea of expanders. Then Whitney came onto the scene. And I saw this girl who's like us, like who has kids and is from Utah. And, you know, you just kind of, when you grow up here, I think you just kind of, I don't know if it's accept or embrace or realize, I don't know, but like that you don't live in a place that has all of the opportunities like living in LA or New York or even, you know, East Coast, West Coast, whatever, big major city. You just don't really have those. And to see this person who has kids, she's from my same place. She has like all this star quality and it has just made me feel like this like, again, random tangent, but I just feel very passionately about like feeling represented by Whitney. I just feel like, oh, maybe it's like okay to like have crazy dreams and be a mom of young kids and grow your family and be married and still like, it has been like the weirdest thing to witness and weird in a good way. And so I just have loved seeing her succeed. And I don't know. I just wanted to say that. And I hope she has bigger and better things coming for her. And I don't know. My money is on Robert to win Dancing with the Stars. I will be pretty shocked if Robert doesn't win. I know it's probably between Robert and Alex. Jordan and Ezra, I love them. Elaine, they're great. I don't think that they have a chance of winning. Who am I missing? Who's the other one? Oh, Dylan and Daniela. Daniela does deserve a win. Dylan, I don't know how Dylan is in the final and Whitney is not, but you know what? That's not what we're here to linger on. I just wanted to say that. So if Whitney's out there listening somewhere, just wishing you the best. Okay, so today's episode, random 5 minute tangent to start on, but we are talking about dinner time conversations. A lot of dinner time things happening in these last few weeks and the weeks to come. And I thought we would go over some of the craziest things that you guys have heard asked at your dinner tables. Before we do that, I would like to do a little report of what I've been reading, eating, playing, obsessing over, recommending, treating myself to. Just kind of, what's been going on in my life recently. Reading. I always say this, I'm not a huge reader. I kind of get, in modes where I'm reading a lot and then I stop reading for like years at a time. And then I'll have a month where I read like 4 books. I started a book called Bride by Allie Hazelwood. She has one called Bride, one called Mate. And it's pretty easily digestible romantasy, I would say. I can't summarize the story for you because I literally just started it. I was cleaning my house and I texted Meg, who owns Page, the Kindle case shop. I know so many of you guys love her, but she's like the biggest reader in my life. And so every time I need a book, she's like, what's your mood? Where are you at on fantasy, romance? Anyway, so she recommended this to me and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Let me know if you guys have read it. Other than that, I have been reading a lot of people's Substacks and so again, I'm recording this the week of Thanksgiving and I'm like basically keeping Substack afloat because I'm reading so many recipes and I'm watching all of these videos on TikTok trying to find the best. I'm in charge of a bunch of things for Thanksgiving. I got to do the stuffing. I got to do the corn casserole. I got to do the rolls. I got to do breakfast the next day. Like I've got a lot on my plate, quite literally. And so I'm watching all of these recipe videos and every single one of them. And you know what? I'm proud of them. They should be charging for their work. And I'm giving in and I've been subscribing to so many Substacks and I just think it's a good little platform. It kind of feels like, I don't know, Substack and Pinterest both feel like breaths of fresh air, compared to like Instagram and TikTok. Instagram and TikTok, by the end of the year, I'm so done with them. I'm probably going to take a break for the whole month of December. Just like once episodes are done and I'm caught up, like I really just need to reset from that energy. You just know that there's like dark political energy running TikTok and Instagram. Like you just feel like a pawn in their game. And I would like to take a break from being under the thumb of Mark Zuckerberg. So I don't know. I would love to delete it forever. I mean, you guys know I fantasize about one day deleting my Instagram and never returning. And maybe I'll show up on Substack. Maybe you guys will have to find me there. And I'm going to make you guys pay $7 a month to hear my inner thoughts. But anyway, reading a lot of Substack. There's a lot of like really good little essays or quick thoughts or whatever. And hop on there. You can, find your interests and a ton of like fashion edits, like a lot of fashion people that I follow, they put like their thrift finds or sales or whatever. And it just feels a little cleaner to the palate than Instagram. I know we're all being linked into oblivion like over these last few weeks and holidays are so crazy. And like, it's hard because I get it obviously from my position that I'm in because you have obligations and commitments and contracts that you sign to post these things. And it doesn't take away that I like the brands or whatever, but I do like, sometimes I post the links and I'm like, I know you guys, this is like the last thing you need is another link. Please just like let yourself off the hook. If like you can't stand it and you need to mute people who are sharing links and you don't want to buy it. Like, I mean, Lucy has talked about this a lot about like how many links we are seeing every single day. And it makes us think that like we need more and we don't have enough and we need to change our style. Like it's none of that is true. You don't need anything. Just if you have something in mind that you want to get and you already are thinking about it and then you see a link for it, sure, use it. But don't let anybody convince you that like you are in need of your 75th lip gloss. Okay. Why was I? Oh, because I was reading Substack. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, going on. Eating. What am I eating lately? This is our E in our report. Eating these savory plates. Okay. There's this girl on TikTok and I should find her before I reference her work. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this while I'm recording. Savory plate. Oh my gosh. I'm spelling all of this wrong. Avery. Okay. Savory snack plate. Let's see. I know she didn't like invent the savory snack plate. Okay. Her name is Stephanie. Oh, I don't know how to say her last name. Jakubek. Jakubek. Steve or Stephanie, like I know she did not invent a savory dinner plate. Okay, it's like very akin to oh my gosh, a charcuterie, but these are like all of my favorite flavors right now, especially like in the holidays because like there's so much sweet. Like I'm baking so much, and it feels like like it's candy. It's all like these savory plates. I crave them all day. Like this one that she has. She has like marinated tomatoes. She's got pepperoncinis, olives, salami, red onion, eggs, mozzarella cheese, feta cheese, snap peas, bread. Like just, oh, it's so good. It hits like right at the back of your jaw, that like vinegary, salty, briny flavors. I just love them. And also, I mean, that's nutrient dense. I mean, there's a lot of green on there. She's got tomatoes, she got tons of seasonings. Like I live for it. It's kind of an elevated girl dinner, if you will. And I have been eating quite a few of those. Also, of course, I've been eating a lot of treats. Been eating a lot of after school banana bread, the recipe from Magnolia Bakery, been making cookies. I'm about to make, so for Thanksgiving, again, I'm in charge of a bunch, but a pie that I'm making, of course, that I found on Substack. Her Substack is called The Plum Line. I got a salted, okay, wait, a, a peanut butter salted maple cream pie with a pretzel crust. That's what I'm making for the dessert that I'm bringing to Thanksgiving. It should be fun. Okay. The next thing that we're playing Scrabble a lot. I think I talked about Scrabble the other day that I love it. I love sitting next to the tree. I'm catching up on Stranger Things. I'm bonding with my mans, and we've been playing a lot of Scrabble. So that's what we've been playing. Here's what I'm obsessing over. I'm obsessing over podcasts, which I've never said in my whole life. You want to know why? Because I've never listened to podcasts. I was deep into true crime. You guys know I'm a reformed true crime listener. I was listening to all those, and then I started the podcast, and then I kept my two that I always listen to, Time Suck and Absolutely Not. I have my Heather McMahon shirt on right now, by the way. Those are the two that like I've just always listened to. And honestly, they're less of like I'm catching up on them and more that like those are the voices that I just like to have in my headphones. Like I will just listen to Time Suck and not even really be paying attention. But Dan Cummins' voice is just kind of my white noise. And so that's what I've been listening to. But why was nobody going to tell me how good Las Culturistas is? I have fallen deep into the Las Culch quicksand. Like I love these two, Matt and Bowen. So if you don't know, Bowen Yang, who is on SNL, he's also Fanny in Wicked. I haven't seen Wicked yet, by the way, but I have a feeling I'm about to get Game of Thrones to buy it. So he's in Wicked. Anyway, he's on SNL. He and his best friend Matt, they met in college. They have this podcast called Las Culturistas, and they have everybody on. I mean, actresses, comedians, writers. They do solo episodes, and they are just so good at what they do. And I have found it very inspiring to listen to them. I've also been, I know you guys know that I love Good Hang with Amy Poehler. But yeah, Lost Culture. I started with the Jennifer Lawrence episode, and I thought I made a TikTok about this because it seriously like something clicked for me in a major way when she was talking about this. So she's telling this story of how she was like almost in a plane accident. Like it had double engine failure. Like she was like saying goodbye to her friends. Like she was absolutely sure she was going to die. And she's telling this story to Matt and Bowen, and she stops in the middle of it. And she was like, this is what being a woman is, because I'm telling you guys this story and I know that it happened. And I have people who I was with when it happened. And like, I know for a fact it's true. And I still feel like I'm lying. And I did not know that this was a common feeling felt. Like I immediately asked my friends. I made a TikTok about it. I heard from a lot of you because it's like we are so used to being gaslit that like we pre-gaslight ourselves. We do it to ourselves before we even like tell the story. Like so many times, like seriously, even with like my personal thing that I shared a couple weeks ago, I was like, okay, this like this happened to me, right? Like, I know that this happened. Like, are people going to think that I'm lying? Are people going to think that like they're going to catch me in a lie? Like, I actually heard from my sweet, sweet, sweet nurse who was there with me that night. And it like made me feel so much better because I was like, okay, she was there. Like, she's validating that this happened. It's a very weird thing that I think women do. And I think it's, a lot of it could come from religious conditioning, OCD, all of that, relationships, whatever. But I've never been able to put my finger on that until Jennifer Lawrence said it. And now I catch myself like when I'm telling a story and I start to like try to disprove myself, I like can put a name to that and I can stop. Do you know what I'm saying? It just was very, very helpful. And you know what? That's why we do what we do. We, meaning people who just talk on microphones for absolutely no reason at all, because sometimes you just need to hear someone say it. Sometimes you just need to hear a voice say your inner thoughts. Sometimes you just need somebody to say, yeah, I do that weird thing too. It's not that big of a deal. And that made me feel a lot better. But anyway, the other episode that I really loved was the Lady Gaga episode. They were just like the perfect people to interview Lady Gaga because they're huge fans, but they're also like it's all about culture, obviously. And, they just understood her. They asked such great questions. I was so inspired by Lady Gaga's, I've always loved her, but just like her work ethic and the way she describes herself and the way she understands that she has a million different things to offer. And people always are like, well, who are you and what's your thing and what is your one thing and how would you define Lady Gaga? And then her kind of letting that go and saying like, I do all of these different things. I do all this different type of music. I do types of music. I can dress a certain way. My hair looks different all the time. Like I am an amalgamation of everything that I love. And I loved that. And I felt very inspired by that. So I am obsessing over Las Culch. And I'm recommending 3 things I'm going to recommend to you today. Okay. One of them is going to be a candle warmer. You want to know why? Because you don't have to blow it out when you leave the house. And if you're like me, you've been late to many things because you've had to turn around and go make sure you blew the candle out. A candle warmer, Claire gifted me one when we moved into our last house. And it made it feel like home. Get a candle warmer, bring it to a favorite things party. I don't care. Just get one for your home. It will make it feel good. Next thing I'm recommending, Weleda. I think that's how you say it. WELEDA, Weleda Skin Food. They have a face cream. I use the light moisturizer, and they also have a thicker one for your body. And both are phenomenal, especially in these dry winter months. Do that with a little Daily Essential Co. oil on top. It's good. The next thing I'm recommending, okay, this might be a little fringe. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this. Have you guys heard of taking a nap? Have you guys heard of putting your baby down for a nap and then putting yourself down for a nap? Don't do the dishes. Don't do the laundry. Don't scroll. Put yourself down for a nap. I've been doing that for the last, 10 days straight. And I don't really nap so much as just close my eyes and enter a trance-like state. And then I get woken up, which feels like 5 minutes later. I didn't know that I could just do nothing during her nap. Like I was doing that for a while. Like I was like trying to get as much done as I could before she went down. And then I could kind of rest. But then things just got too crazy and I had to start working during her naps and doing things and getting around the house. I had to start doing that. Now I don't do it. Now I just sit and lay. And I highly recommend taking a nap. Okay. And the thing that I'm treating myself with, I've been eating a lot of the Trader Joe's holiday items. I was actually going to make a list and let's see, what are the holiday items? I had a list here. They have like a handful of really good holiday items. I like the peppermint JoJo's. I think those are really good. JoJo's feel like a little waxy to me, like a little more waxy than an Oreo, which is fine. Trader Joe's kind of feels like that sometimes. Like they feel like a little bit faker version of something, just like a little more modified, just like a little more shelf stable. But I like it. Okay, what are some of these? The Jingle Jangle is always good. Panettone, not for me. Marzipan, not for me. They also have a corn candle, which I can't even think about it. It was the most disgusting thing I've ever smelled in my whole life. But I have been eating those peppermint JoJo's. They get you so good. So I love those. Another thing that I wanted tell you guys about, I went to the most gorgeous event for Oilo Studio, which is like it's a recliner brand. Like they do like baby recliners. They're the best. Like I dreamed of having one of these. And so to be invited to the event was really, really fun. And it was just like a gorgeous night. They did it at the Grand America. We got to like get fancy and I met like so many kind, wonderful people that I like have seen online for years. And it was just a nice evening. And I feel a little out of place, a little out of body, if you will, every time I go to those. But I always leave feeling like everybody was so kind, like so much nicer than I could have ever imagined. So shout out to all the girls that I got to meet that night. I'm glad I went, and that brand is really, really awesome. So if you are pregnant or have a baby and you're looking for like seriously the best quality recliner, this is again not sponsored, but they're great. Oilo, Oilo, not Oleo, which I really thought it was for the last 4 years. It's Oilo. Okay, so let's get into these submissions. Your guys's craziest things you have ever heard at the dinner table. These are pretty wild. Let's get into this first one. My mom asked my brother, "What are all of the drugs that you've tried?" This is like, I think about this all the time if I am going to have to ask my adult children about drugs. Like, I'm trying to live in the moment. I'm trying to like embrace Coco when she's this young, but like, I won't lie. I think about her as a teenager and an adult, like all the time. I'm always thinking like, what's she going to be like? Are we going to be best friends? What ages will she, I know she'll hate me for some time. Like, I know that there will be a stretch of years where she does not frick with me. But hopefully, like as she gets older, like she'll really start to like me. But like, is she gonna do drugs? How do I talk to her about drugs? How do I ask her what drugs she's done? How does she know that I'm not a narc? I'm also cool and have done a couple drugs. Like, how do I tell her that without destroying the parent-child dynamic? I don't want to be too friendly, but I think it's a fair question to sit down at a Thanksgiving table and ask your kid what drugs they've done. Okay. Wait, hold on. I'm these are so hard to tell which ones I've selected. Oh, okay. Okay, sorry. I had my like questions for Brooke and these submissions like right next to each other. So this one it's like it's asking about placenta encapsulation and I was like that is a weird thing to ask at a dinner table. That wasn't for us. Okay. This one. An old relative asked, "Are you gay? Cuz you don't talk about boys the way your brother talks about girls." I speaking of coming out to relatives, that episode of Good Hang with Ariana Grande where she talks about she talks about her brother Frankie coming out to their grandma. And it's been like my vocal stim the last like 2 weeks when she's like, "Have you seen a pair of breasts?" It's so good. But that's one way to communicate with your child. Just ask them straight up, "Are you gay?" It's like Andy Bernard. "Michael, am I gay?" Okay. Next one. My mother-in-law asked which family we'd rather stay with in the apocalypse, mine or theirs. The competition between your family and in-laws. I mean, this really takes it to another level. I mean, this is an unavoidable question. And let me answer it for you. Would I rather be with my family or my in-laws during the apocalypse? I'm going to choose my family, but only because there's more people. So I think that we would be a more complete little society. Gray comes from a smaller family than I do. So we just wouldn't have as many people to help out. Also, I have many men, too many men in my family, one might argue. And I feel like they would be very useful in a survival situation. I have brothers who watch Alone, that show where it like shows people living in the wilderness by themselves. Two of my brothers watch that religiously. So I think they're good for something. I also have large brothers. I mean, there's not a small, like, it's crazy to say, but like, I've come from a family of 8. I'm the youngest of 8. I have 7 older brothers. Everyone's huge and everyone's loud. Like, we don't have an introvert among us. Maybe one who borders on introvert and extrovert. But like, when people ask me, who's the quiet one in your family? It's me. I think I'm the quietest in the family. My brothers would really argue with that, but we're all extroverts and gigantic people. So I don't know. We might be your new leaders, honestly. If the apocalypse, I don't know what I was just saying. If the apocalypse comes around, we might have to assert dominance. Not even because we want to, just because we're the loudest and the largest. So I'm going to pick my family, but we went around the other day. We did dinner with my in-laws the other day, and we're all saying what we're grateful for, and first thing out of my mouth, normal in-laws. I was so scared when I was dating again that I would have to marry a weirdo or somebody with a weird family. And I didn't. And I'm really grateful for that. My sister-in-law is like, I was sobbing to her because I've always wanted a little sister, and now I have one in my sister-in-law, and it's a beautiful thing. So, I'm sorry. I was hoping, well, no, I wasn't hoping, but like when I got divorced, I was like, maybe I'm going to have like crazy in-law stories next time. And I don't. So I'm sorry. I can't contribute to that anymore. Okay. Next one. My older married siblings asked each other the weirdest places they've had sex when I was 13, sitting at the dinner table. The way I don't even want to acknowledge that anybody I'm related to is a sexual being. I don't want to know. As far as I'm concerned, all of us have only kissed. And every child in my family was immaculately conceived. Like, I don't want to know. I don't want to think about it. I don't want you to talk about it. Like, when it comes to my siblings, like, I like to keep it pretty buttoned up. Okay. We are not like, I mean, we're open and we're close, but like, we're not that close. I'm not having that conversation with anybody in my family. I don't want to see anybody naked. Like, we are not a naked family by any means. We are not. That's just not us. And thank goodness that that's not what I'm dealing with. Because yeah, sitting at the table having that conversation with my brothers and sisters-in-law, I just don't think I can do it. Even like I've had like conversations with sisters-in-law where like we're talking about like even just babies and having babies, when to get pregnant. Like even that, I'm like, but you didn't actually do that to get pregnant, right? Like, let's just be honest, okay? And unfortunately, science suggests that they did, in fact, have intimate relations, and that makes me sad. Okay, next one. I overheard all my old relatives counting off all their friends who had died that year. It's like the Oscars in memoriam slideshow. That's sad, but you know how beautiful that they made it. They made it to that part. I think I talked about this when my grandma passed last year, and this is morbid. Should I even talk about this? Whatever. I guess we're already here. But like I was just sitting there and like looking at my family and like her friends that were still living that were there and her cousins and kids and all that. And I was like, you know, the road ends for all of us eventually. We're all headed there. It's the most unavoidable thing in the world, except maybe if you're Brian Johnson, that freak who is like trying to outlive everybody. Also, if being that healthy makes you look that scary, I don't want to be that healthy. He's gray, like the color gray, not my husband gray. Like he's just a gray person. And his teeth are like made of metal and like his blood is, I don't know, like liquid iron or something. And I always think, like, what if he just gets in a car accident? Like, what if he does all of this to like optimize his health? And then he has a freak accident where he trips on a curb, hits his head and dies. Like, and all of it was for naught. Like, why even put all of that effort in? You know, like I understand wanting to be healthy and feel good and live life to the fullest. But like to that extent, I just don't think we need it. I don't think we need anybody. I don't want to live past 90. I think 90 is a really, honestly, maybe even a little, maybe 88. I think that I would be very happy living to 88 because do you want to know who wants to live forever? Villains. Bad guys want eternal life. I don't want that. I want this to end and go to my great beyond, whatever that looks like. Okay. Next one. Somebody asked, what was your red pill moment? If you're unfamiliar, let me, actually, we should see how the internet defines a red pill. Wait, let me define it first. And then I'm going to see how the internet says it. Okay. So the red pill moment is like, it happens in the Matrix where basically you take the red pill and like all of like the facade of everything comes down. Like you don't fall for propaganda and you like embrace traditional values and you shun like progressive, it's a very Republican thing to do, to say like I took the red pill. Like I don't believe any of that liberal nonsense anymore. Okay, sorry, I have a hair tickling me. Let me see what is a red pill moment. Oh no, a red pill man. Okay. Here's what Google says. Also, don't look at my ugly phone. Look at this ugly color it is. I had to do it. It was the only one available. Okay. A red pill moment refers to a pivotal moment of realization, often unpleasant, where an individual becomes aware of a perceived harsh truth. Okay, blah, 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 blah. The concept is used to signify a man's awakening to what the manosphere, a sphere I don't want to be in, to what the manosphere community claims is the oppressive and gynocentric nature of modern society, often fueled by what they perceive as anti-male bias from feminism. Oh, this is so much worse than what I thought it was. Accepting this ideology is equated with taking the red pill, while those who don't are considered blue pilled. Okay, so it's way more incel than I thought it was. If you don't know what an incel is, it's men who are involuntarily celibate. That's where incel comes from. They basically blame women for absolutely everything, and they think that feminism is ruining the world. And they like very much, I guess I wasn't too far off, because they believe in very traditional roles, like women at home, birthing people, and men out working, running the world, women, no voice, men make every decision. Like it's that's their whole thing. So what was their red pill moment? Interesting. If you ever ask somebody this and they have a real answer, run far away. What would my red pill moment be? Maybe I should say, what was my blue pill moment? My blue pill moment probably happened, I would say, circa 2016. I can't think of anything major that happened that year. Can you guys? Just kidding. Obviously, I can think of several things. But like before 2016, I would say I was very much like just going with like the norm of where I live. Like I was much more conservative. I really believed in traditional gender roles. And like honestly, like even where I am now, like much more, I would say I'm much more open-minded. I'm less religious. I'm more liberal. Obviously, like I do believe that men and women have different strengths, and that's not a hard and fast rule, but yeah, like I mean, my life right now is pretty traditional. I mean, I'm a working mom, but I'm still the stay-at-home parent. My husband works outside of the home. We have, kind of quote unquote traditional roles. I do the cooking, the cleaning, whatever. Like, I don't think that that's bad. And that's what's like really crazy to me. Sorry, I will try not to get too political, but people will always say like, well, I'm conservative because I have traditional values and I like value family. So do I. Like, what do you mean traditional values? Like serve people, be kind, take care of people around you, love your family, be honest, be hardworking, like forgive people, all of those things. Like what? I have those too. Like, what do you mean? What do you think that means to if somebody is not conservative, like that they just think that we should lie and kill everyone? I mean, whatever. So I won't lie. Some days I do wake up and that's when I'm in my luteal phase, that those are my core values. I would like to at least kill one person. I mean, and not like somebody specific, but just like to just have a kind of a get out of jail free card when I'm in my luteal phase. Okay. This one, I was asked if I'm going goth because I had black Doc Marten boots on. Well, are you? I had this phase. I was 20 and, finding my voice, finding my style. I thought that I was going to be very edgy. There was this girl I followed on Instagram. I still follow her, by the way, and she's still extremely cool. And she was like covered in tattoos. She had the platinum blonde hair. She wore beanies and like ripped shorts and big boots and stud belts and skulls everywhere. Like she was just cool. And my 20-year-old self thought that that was like who I was destined to be. Obviously, if you know me now, that's not really my vibe, but I was still figuring that out. My brain hadn't developed yet. So I thought that wearing all black and Converse like was kind of the same thing. So I started wearing all black and then like beanies. Like behind, like I would like tuck my hair behind my ears and then wear a beanie right on top. I looked definitely bisexual, if not just fully into girls. Like I was that's what I was kind of giving. And thank goodness. So anyway, that was what thought was cool, and I was going through a goth phase. And I remember I met my sister-in-law. She was dating my brother at the time. Actually, they weren't even dating yet. They just like had a class together in school. And I met her, and I was like, it was like the first thing I said to her. I was like, I'm going through a goth phase. And she was like, "Oh, okay." Now that we know each other really well, she's like, that was the like, she's like, I was so like scared that I had a weird little that I was gonna have a weird sister-in-law. And turns out she was right, and I'm way worse than she expected. No, but I think that we all deserve a goth phase, don't you? Okay, this dinner time topic conversation. These are also ideas for you guys at like the Christmas dinner table. Like if you want to start a conversation, I think these would be really good. Like this one. Do you believe in dentists? My answer, no. I know that there are honest dentists out there, but I just think for the most part, they're lying. I think that for the vast majority of dentists, they're exploiting me because what do you mean you can't just take my tooth out? What do you mean you like? I remember, okay, I'm saying the take my tooth thing out because like every single time I've been told I need a root canal, I just tell them to pull the tooth. That's why I'm missing three teeth. I don't have three of my teeth because I didn't want to do a root canal because why would I? And guess what? No problems, even for toothless over here. Um, but I remember going to the dentist once and they were like, "Oh, we have this machine to tell us if there's a cavity growing in your tooth." Like it like up like that's about to happen. It's not a cavity yet, but like we can catch it before. And I'm like, "Oh, that's amazing because then I can prevent it." And they were like, "No, you just still have to get it filled. We can just fill it early." I'm like, "So now you're going to fill cavities and pre-cavities? What if it doesn't turn into a cavity?" They're like, "It will, 100%. It definitely will." I just think it's dirty. I think that dentists tell you you have cavities when you really don't. I know there are honest dentists out there. Okay. I do know one. His name's Andy. He's good. Okay. Next one. So are you guys sexually active? Why would you any sex related topic at the dinner table? I won't ever quite understand. This one's good. And I have a horribly embarrassing story to go with this. So somebody asked at the dinner table, what is bukkake from my husband's aunt? That's who asked it. And I am going to let you Google what it is. Okay? Like I don't want to say what it is. It's gross. Actually, I'm not going to read it on here, but I'm going to see what this says on here. Okay. Okay. Go look it up. All right. I will not ever be saying this on the podcast, but feel free to Google it. Bukkake. Okay. So I was working at a restaurant and like part of my job before I like took food out to the table was like you like clean up the plate. Like, so there's nothing, on the edges or anything. So I remember we had like a dish. This is so bad. Oh my gosh. We had a dish that had like a cream sauce on it or something. And I was supposed to like wipe it off the edges of the plate. And some like spilled over. And one of the chefs who was there, he said, "Oh, make sure you get that bukkake off the side," which I was 22. I thought, oh, it's just like, it means like a mess or something. I thought it was like a Yiddish word. Okay. It's like, just get that bukkake out of there. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I did this. So anyway, a couple days pass and I go back to work and I'm serving this same dish and, I give it to the person and there was some like a little like smear on the plate. And I say to the people, "Oh, sorry, there's, oh my gosh, I can't believe it." I said, "Oh, sorry, there's a little bukkake right there." This keeps me up at night that I said this to like, he was probably in his like early 30s. Like it was not like an old guy who had no idea what it meant. Like I am sure that oh my gosh, I can't believe I said that to a real human person. That's really bad. That is almost as bad as my gallery thing that I told every single tour I took that the gallery actually I think the bukkake thing is worse, but I told every single tour I ever took somebody on that the gallery was where they kept the art. It wasn't. It's just the observation gallery where you can look at the House and Senate floors in the Capitol building. But every tour I took, Took people on. I said, "No, that's just where they keep the art." What do you mean where they keep the art? I'm so stupid. I am so stupid. Okay. Next one. I hope you told her. Okay. You need to make sure you tell people because otherwise they're going to start using it willy-nilly. So please educate people on what bukkake is. Okay. This one. My sister made us go around and tell everyone about what trial we are currently going through. I had this weird thing like growing up where I felt like everybody I heard talk about like trials or like hard stuff they were going through, they always ended it with like, but I'm so grateful for this trial. And like that like always made me feel weird because there are things that I've been through that I'm just not grateful for. And I think that is like I know toxic positivity, it's like been so overdone on the internet. Like we talk about it a million times, talked about it years ago. Like we don't need to get into like what toxic positivity is. But like that is why it's harmful because like why can't we just say that like sometimes things are hard, they suck and there's no reason for them. Like I feel like having to assign a meaning to every single hard thing that you ever go through like inhibits you from like processing it properly. Like sometimes things are just hard and you can say that like, "Oh yeah, that sucked. Didn't like it. Let's move forward. Let's learn from it." But like being grateful for your trials, like I'm not grateful for like 90% of mine. Somebody asked if they're still gay at the dinner table. Are you still gay? Valid question. I mean, it's a spectrum. It's fluid. Maybe you jump from one thing to another. I don't know. Somebody asked, "What's your favorite toe?" I don't have one. I actually hate my feet now that I'm looking at them. I don't really like my toes. And this last one, which I will definitely be using at my Christmas dinner table, let's all go around and say how the person to your left has disappointed you. What a way to get everything out on the table with a family member. Everything they've done that you really hate. I think that's one way to build a strong family culture of friendship and love and trust and honesty. Oh, that's all we have time for today, unfortunately. But you can submit more. We can definitely do this again because you guys have some weird families. We have some uplifting episodes coming up. We're going to do the kindness of strangers, the week of Christmas. Like, I want the holidays to feel good. I know that this is a tough time. I know that, like, it just seems like the holidays are kind of a magnifier for every emotion that we have. Happiness is magnified, but also sometimes loneliness, sadness, grief. Like it can really bring those things out. And you know what? If you're feeling anything negative, you don't have to be grateful for it. You can hate it. You can say, "This sucks. Let's sit in it." I'm not good at sitting in my feelings because as my therapist pointed out the other day, um, I tend to avoid a lot of feelings because I don't know why, but like in my mind, I'm going to get stuck. I'm going to have to be there for too long and I'm never going to work through it. Turns out if you avoid it, you sit in it longer. That was a bad thing to find out. So hopefully you can just sit with yourself, move forward. I'm here for you. I love you. Thank you for joining me. Remember to be safe, be kind, be hot, be normal. I love you. I will see you next week. Bye.